A long-handled grub hoe.
What'd you call me? Those same idiots are the ones that are gonna get pissed off when their cheeseburger now costs $15 at McDonald's. Friends, welcome back. I am Jason, and it's another exciting episode of A Day in the Life of all the nonsense that I got going on. I've got 15 projects going on. The big one that I got going on, well, checking the oil in my motorcycle, but the big one that I got going on is I got to empty out this tote, and I've got to put in its place this giant big tote, and I want to elevate it so I can gravity feed my truck with the precious veggie oil that fuels this beast of a machine that is finally back on the road. Long story short, I don't know if you guys were following, but the truck broke down. I thought it possibly could have been catastrophic. Bang, bang, lots of loud noises coming from under the hood. It was looking ugly. Long story short, push rod got bent. I put a new push rod in it. It runs like a champ. I don't know. Anyway, there's 200-ish gallons of filtered clean vegetable oil right there that my truck runs on. And I need to get that out of there and into there and up there. I'm trying to empty this one completely out so I can move it because it weighs 1,000,000 pounds. Even with a little bit of oil that's in there, it's still really heavy. So I'm taking all this stuff and I'm putting it over there into my other tank, my other tote. I know I've got kind of a redneck mess going on right now, but it's gonna get better. It's gonna get cleaned up, I promise. But anyway, I'm putting it over there because that's the settle tank. So I put the nasty, dirty vegetable oil that's in there, that's coming out of the fryers of restaurants, and then all the nastiness, including water, settles down to the bottom. And then I slurp off the top. I filter the oil off of the top, the clean oil off the top. Yes, there's a lot of effort that goes into this, but essentially I drive my truck for free. Is it actually free? Well, I'm not paying paper dollars or digital dollars for fuel. I'm not going to the gas station. I mean, I only have to go, my truck burns diesel fuel as well, but I only have to go to the gas station. I mean, I don't even remember the last time I put diesel fuel in this truck. It's been a long time. And that is kind of a cool feeling, you know. I've driven the family across country. We went to Yellowstone, from Georgia to Yellowstone and back, the scenic route. And we burned very little diesel fuel, just a little bit kind of on the return because I ran out of vegetable oil. But the trade-off is the labor. You know, this is a process. There's some infrastructure that has to be set up in order to make this a little bit easier to save me time in the long run. But it is fairly time consuming to get all this stuff ready to rock. Once it's going, it should be a little bit easier and take a little bit less time, but nothing's free. People might be living under this illusion in their lives that, you know, there's a free lunch out there, and there isn't. Somebody pays for something. Somebody pays for everything. I crack up at the idiots on the internet that, you know, are voting for like all the free healthcare and all the free everything, you know, as if that is literally free. And they just don't understand that, you know, somebody's going to be paying for that. Nothing is free. You're going to get taxed for it. You know, the whole, remember the whole minimum wage thing? They wanted to raise minimum wage to whatever it was, $15 or something like that. And those same idiots are the ones that are gonna get pissed off when their cheeseburger now costs $15 at McDonald's, you know? Like, what? This is crazy. You know, why is it so expensive? Well, it's because you wanted something else to increase. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Idiots of the world. It's frustrating. You know, I've made some dumb comments, I'm sure, in the past, and I've said some dumb stuff and had some dumb thoughts for sure. But I try to remedy those as best I can as I learn and as I grow and as we grow. You know, we're becoming more intelligent, we're becoming wiser in our old age with our beards turning gray. Posted a video, I guess it was yesterday, and it was a 4-year-old video, and I had so much less gray in my beard. Oh man, my mileage is showing. I still feel, the funny thing is I still feel pretty young. I still feel like I can do most of the stuff that I could do like when I was in my 20s. But the frustrating part of it is when I go out and actually do stuff with guys that are in their 20s, fit dudes that are in their 20s, I quickly realize that I'm not in my 20s anymore. And this is probably just the beginning, I'm sure. I'm preaching to the choir to you guys that are probably in your 50s and 60s and older, perhaps. You guys get it. But I'm going to keep fighting until the very end. I'll never stop fighting. I will always keep pushing until my last breath, So one of the issues that I have is I get started working and then I don't stop to eat. So hours go by and it's like midday or later and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm done. I'm running on fumes. So I've got to be better about, then I'm getting so skinny. My wife makes fun of me. She says I'm too skinny. So I've got to be better about eating food. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to make myself a huge, hefty smoothie. It's going to have about 1 million calories in it. That's the goal. So we got frozen greens, frozen banana, frozen blueberries, a giant glob of peanut butter, and of course, some protein powder. 2 scoops of that. Almost forgot yogurt. Not bad. Now we can actually get to work. Whew. This right here, friends, is one of my favorite tools. A long-handled grub hoe. What'd you call me? No, it's a grub hoe. It is about the handiest thing. It's a shovel, it's a hoe, it's a root chopper. It does all the stuff, and it is really nice to have around. I use this, man, a lot. I use it for all sorts of projects. Anytime I've got to be digging in the dirt at all, this is the tool that comes out. It's not as heavy as like a mattock. It's not as unwieldy as a mattock, but it still does mattock-like jobs. A little bit lighter weight. Use it all day, and it is pretty dang handy. And this really long handle lets you reach out there, without having to bend over so much. Four feet 40. 8-foot footer right here, front and back. We could set our tanks on it. We have to build a tower here on the right side of some sort of big stand. And it's got to be robust, because a full tote like that is going to weigh, 2,000 pounds, something like that. So someone do the math. It's like, I think that's a 300-gallon tote, 325 maybe. I don't know what size it is, but 7 gallons or 7 pounds per gallon of oil. It's heavy. 2,000 pounds-ish, so it's got to be a sturdy thing if we don't want that to fall over and cause an absolute disaster. So I've got some 6x6s left over from building the canvas wall tent structure, the platform over there. Problem is, I've got to go get it, and my truck has got that oil in there, and I don't want to drive my truck over there with that 2,000 pounds of oil in the back, because that'll slosh around a whole bunch and likely cause a problem, because it's kind of a bumpy road getting there. So I might be just carrying them over there by hand, which will be really fun, because 6x6s are always really lightweight. Everybody knows that. My gym, my outdoor gym, and leftover 6x6 stuff. Guys, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I post a workout video. I just basically take you guys through the workouts that I do, and I work out 3 times a week. So if you're interested in following along and getting yourself a little bit stronger, fitter, faster, healthier, more virile, then make sure you subscribe to Fit On3. I think there's a link in the description, but I'll try to remember to put it in the comment section. Take you right there, subscribe to that channel. All the videos are just in short form. It doesn't take up a lot of time, and hopefully will inspire you to become more awesome. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you do that. Please do so. You won't regret it. One of the best decisions of your life. Let's get one of these 6x6s over there. Maggie! Hey, girl. We only got to do this, I don't know, three more times. No big deal. I was at Home Depot one time, and I was attempting to load up some big railroad ties, and for landscaping timbers or whatever. And railroad ties are friggin' heavy, filled with creosote, super heavy, big beams. Anyway, they're hard to manage, but it's doable. And I was loading them up, and then some jackwagon over at Home Depot comes up to me and says, "Oh, dude, you can't do that. You can't do that. We got to load those for you." So I was like, "Fine." So I wait for like 20 minutes, at least 20 minutes, maybe longer, for them to gather up a crew and a forklift with their flags and the beep, 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 all the things, And they get over there, and they start loading up the railroad ties, one at a time, all 3 of them. And then they bash in my tailgate on my truck. They drop one of the railroad ties, they bash in my tailgate, and they go, "Oh, sorry about that." Yeah. I would have been done. I would have been done with this project 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. If you jackknobs would have just went on your way and let me do my thing, I could have been down the road. Anyway, sometimes it's faster just to get the job done, as opposed to waiting on the machine to do the work for you. And that's why it's important to work out and be strong. Minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. I'm gonna try to get my braces here, my 45s, to meet perfectly in the middle of this support beam right here. And there's probably a good way to do this mathematically, but I'm not sure what it is. So measure once and cut 15 times, give or take. So math is hard. I think we can all agree upon that. Geometry in high school, I aced. I was the star of the class. I was the one helping the other kids. Algebra, quite the opposite. Made no sense to me. I'm working all day on this problem and I'm still left with a letter? What? Doesn't make any sense. But I've learned some tricks along the way to make my math more easy as I build things. There's some things that you can take shortcuts. Yeah, so some things are easy. Half of 24 is 12, that's pretty easy. But if you have half of 49 and 3/4, you're like, well, 49, half of 49, it gets tricky. If I wanted to find half of 29, I would take my tape measure and I'd bend it in half, and I'd come here to the 29, I put the end of my tape measure there, and then I look down, I sight down to the middle of that bend, and you can see that 14 and 1/2
is half of 29. I mean, again, that's a fairly easy one, but you could do the same thing for really any measurement. It doesn't really matter. But there's a little trick that'll speed up the process a little bit for the mathematically not so inclined like myself. Does anybody else have the problem of setting these giant big goals for a day and then only getting to like half of it and then just being disappointed? I do that all the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna crush it. I got up this morning at like 5:30, I guess, somewhere around there. Got the girls up, had my cup of coffee, got them off to school, and then got to work somewhere around 7 a.m. And I've been getting after it, you know, not stopping, not resting. I just feel like I should be further than I am right now. That's frustrating to me when I want all this stuff done in one day, and it just never seems to happen. I forgot I've got to meet with a guy today, and which actually might be helpful. He's gonna potentially be able to help me lift this tote up on top of here, which would be nice. I was gonna have to figure out a way to hoist that thing up there by myself, but thankfully a buddy might be coming over here in a little while to help me out, so that'd be cool. But that's gonna also take some time out of my day, and then I've got to get the kids to youth group this evening. In the day, it's already like 2 o'clock. Dang it. Man, where does the time go? Only so many hours in the day. There's never enough time to get everything done, it seems like. It's just always this. I feel like I'm catching up, you know, I'm always trying to catch up. What do you think? Is that gonna hold 2,000 pounds of veggie oil? Some secondhand lags here. These things, they're proud of these things. You buy these things new, good grief. It adds up fast. But maybe I'll stick a lag down into each one there. I mean, come on. Sometimes it hurts being this good. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just, it's a little bit painful. I think that looks pretty dang tidy. Much more organized and cleaned up than it was before. Question is, will it work? This tote had motor oil in it before the vegetable oil, so it should be good to go. Because I could burn motor oil in my truck too, if I wanted to. Why is it called a chuck? You know what I mean? Why is this called a chuck? Chuck tool? Or is that the chuck tool? Is this the chuck? I don't know. I think it should be called a Steve. I think, you know, all in favor of us changing the world, you know, and instead of this being a chuck, we now call it a Steve. And the Steve tool. Chuck has had the glory for too long. It's time for Steve to have his era, his moment in the sun. Oh, that worked. All right. I got it done before we had to take the kids to youth group. We've got 200 gallons of double filtered veggie oil ready to go. And if I get 15 miles per gallon on a good day in my truck here in the big OTAT rig, that means I could travel, forgive me if my math is wrong, that's 3,000 miles right there. And to me, that's pretty valuable, and that is worth a day's labor. What's diesel? I don't even know what diesel fuel costs now because I go so infrequently. Let's call it $4 a gallon. What is that for? It's $800 that I did not spend $800, it's not a bad day's wage. I'll take it. Friends, thanks for watching. Thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you want to help support the channel, man, that'd be awesome. I'd be super grateful for it. And if you stayed to the end of this video, chances are you probably like what you're seeing. So if you want to support the channel, there's ways in the description and in the comment section of this video that you can do that, and I'd be really grateful for it. Until next time, what's the worst that could happen? Let's just go on 3. Clean up. Ugh. Now we gotta clean up my mess.